eyes on Jesus, though don't ever let me be. Keep your hand upon.
Hey, thanks for joining the red carpet. It's Terry Allen again from the Esther Davis Show. I am considering myself being very blessed to be in the presence of a great writer, a great journalist, and an award-winning person. Let's see, he's won Associate Press Awards, Emmy Awards, and NABJ Awards, but he's blessed us with his words and wisdom in his new book called Step Out on Nothing, How Faith and Family Help Me Conquer Life's Challenges and Changes. I want you to welcome the chief correspondent for CBS, was it CBS there?
Yes, sir.
CBS, and also our 60 Minutes.
Yes, sir.
Byron Pitts. Let's welcome him. Byron, tell me something. Step Out on Nothing. I call the book an intersection between faith, skills development, and mentoring.
Oh, yeah.
How do you describe this book, and how does that work for you?
You know, I say I wrote this book for the underdogs because I consider myself the underdog most of my life. So I wrote this book for everyone who's ever been told, no, you can't. You're not good enough. You're not ready. You're not worthy. I know a lot of folks have heard that. I've heard that much in my life. And in this book, I want to encourage people that all good things are possible. Certainly my faith is important to me. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I talk openly about that I'm not ashamed of my faith walk. I'm not ashamed of the difficulties I had growing up because all those things, all those struggles helped to shape me to be the person I am now.
Well, why did you write the book? Who is this book for?
Well, I wrote the book. It's estimated that there are 30 million adults in our country who are functionally illiterate. 30 million adults in the United States of America who cannot read. If it was a state, it would be the second largest state in the country behind California. And lots of those people are people of color. There are 3 million Americans in our country who are stutterers. I'm a stutterer. I didn't learn to read until I was 12. I stuttered until I was 20. And so this book is to specifically encourage people like me who have those struggles to know that there is help available, that they can get past those difficult moments. But I also recognize as a journalist that, you know, as a journalist we cover struggles for power, struggles for survival, Hurricane Katrina, the tsunami in Indonesia. And so I want to encourage people, no matter what your struggle is, there are things you can do to get past those struggles and to make the point that there is joy on the other side of struggle.
Well, your book talks about faith and family.
Yeah.
And I want to reiterate to the viewers also that you were labeled functionally illiterate at age 12.
Yeah.
You started till you were 20.
Yeah.
Now you're an Emmy Award winning, Associated Press Award winning, NABJ Award winning journalist.
Yeah.
How did faith make that happen? And what were the key factors to your success? There had to be some interventions along the way.
Oh, no question. Start with my mother. A woman from the South, from Apex, North Carolina, a town about the size of this table, small place. When the first therapist, I was diagnosed as functionally illiterate, I couldn't read. The first therapist suggested that it was his analysis that I was mentally retarded and that I should be institutionalized. My mama says, no, that doesn't sound right. Let's keep looking. The next therapist said, well, we're not sure what the problem is. We'll bring him back when he's 15. My mama said, no, that doesn't sound right because if you wait until that time, he'll be dead or in prison. So my mother, most of her life, has worn a mustard seed around her neck, encased in a clear plastic ball and a chain. And that mustard seed is her daily reminder about the scripture that says in Matthew, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to that mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. So my mama has that mountain moving faith. And so when people told her to give up on her son, give up on her child, she's like, no, I'm not going to do this. So she kept believing, kept praying. So in the book I talk about, I've achieved some measure of success in my professional life. I mean, there aren't many people who have the opportunity to work for 60 Minutes. You know, Ed Bradley was the first African American, and I'm fortunate to be the second. But I didn't get there because I'm so talented, I'm so smart, or I've ever been lucky. I'm there because I've been blessed. I'm there because my mama prayed for me, my grandmama prayed for me. And so many people in my life planted seeds of encouragement and taught me things. And so I say in the book to encourage people to know that, you know, all of us have people around us who encourage us, and that we should embrace those people.
Well, I want to ask you something. The many struggles that you had, I read in the book where you were told, and I saw a speech, I saw one of your alumni speeches where you said that and a faculty administrator told you that you were wasting the government's money and time?
Yeah, when I went to Ohio Wesleyan University, a small liberal arts college in Ohio, and I was struggling freshman year. And we all know with struggle, it doesn't go away right away. So freshman in high school, I was still struggling academically. I was in academic probation, a midterm away from flunking out of school. And one professor I had, an English professor, said, "Mr. Pitts, come to my office after class." And he says, "You are not Ohio Wesleyan University material.
Wow.
You are wasting my time and the government's money," as if I was a welfare case in college or something. But, being raised to respect authority, I was 17 years old. I took this man's word, left his office, went and started filling out the papers to withdraw from school. And a stranger walked past. I didn't know her, she didn't know me. And said, "Son, what's wrong?" I was crying. And she sat down and talked to me, and come to find out she was an English professor, and she helped me. And it was one more example in my mind, I call it grace, of how this person who didn't know me just stumbled into my life and gave me the things I needed to get by.
Well, my mother's always said that grace was a cousin to faith,
That's
and
right.
that it was led by another cousin called Spirit.
Amen.
And I noticed, and I heard you say it, and I think it's in the book, because I've been reading the book like voraciously. You said that your mother told you God does not place heavy burdens on weak shoulders.
Oh, yeah. Actually, my grandmother said that, to which my mother said, "Well, God must think I'm a twin, because I'm carrying the burden of two people." She was just kidding. But certainly, and I was raised to believe that God doesn't give us more than we can bear. I mean, the Bible speaks of that, and that's been my experience. I mean, we all have had difficult moments, and in the book, I want to encourage people that my mother said that there's no such thing as stumbling blocks in life, only stepping stones. That every difficult moment I've had in life, I think, was only meant to strengthen me, strengthen my faith, strengthen my character. And I'm on 60 Minutes now because of those struggles. I love, as a journalist, I love words. Well, I love words because learning to read came late in life. I love the sound of words, of eloquence. And because I'm a stutterer, I still stutter, but I've learned to manage it. But now basically, I am paid to read out loud. And that's,
Well, I was reading in the book, and back to that placing heavy burdens and that faith, and it's so important, because I know for a lot of the viewers that come from the website and from the show, they're always talking about how they had to lean back on faith when other people have left them down.
Sure.
You had an administrator say that you were wasting the government's money. You had another faculty member says, "Meet me in my office." That's the difference between giving up on you and having mentoring.
Oh, yeah.
Can you share with us what is the key factors for mentoring? How do we do this? Because everyone I know, you are at one of the pinnacles of success for journalism in 60 Minutes. I know you're being approached about mentoring, a journalism path for other people. What are the key factors for mentoring?
Well, I tell people the same thing I tell my own children, and it's what my mama told me, that if you work hard and pray hard and treat people right, good things will happen, regardless of your path. Certainly, I know the path in my profession, but I think it's the same thing. I always tell people, it seems to me that success in this life has very little to do with talent, but it has a lot to do with how driven you are, how focused you are, and what your plan is. And I encourage people to have a plan. The only way you get to where you want to go is if you know where you're trying to get to. And that every job, every dream has a title.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to say what you want to do, and I will be. Don't say you try, because my mom used to say, if you say you try, you lie. So drop words like try, drop phrases like I can't, and then begin to map out a plan of what you want to do. And I love talking to people. My grandmother had another saying. She says, the only way God can give us more is if you open up your arms and give away what you have. And I try and I work to encourage young people, anybody, to pursue their dreams. I'll talk to anybody about what I do, how one can be successful in journalism, because people. There was certainly some critics in my life, but most people were encouraging. Whether it was my mother, my grandmother, coaches, the pastor of my church, deacons in my church, men I worked with.
Well, the professor that came to you and taught you how to read and worked with you and said, "Come to my office," and made you who you are. Now, I read that she retired.
Yeah.
And I read that you sent her to Paris. Is that true?
Yeah, Ula. Her name is Ulu. She's a wonderful, wonderful, nurturing woman. She went on vacation with us this summer to Martha's Vineyard, and wanting to pay it forward. This is someone who believed in me when I didn't really believe in myself. And so, I'm blessed to have certain opportunities in life now, and when I can share that with Ula, with my mother, with my extended family, that's important for me to do.
Well, when I put on my Facebook that I was going to interview you today, one of my Lincoln friends said, ask him what happened to the professor that said he was wasting the government's money and time. Yeah. Have y'all ever had a dialogue? Have you renewed a relationship with him and the other people who said it wasn't going to work?
Yeah, well, you know, as God would have it, a couple of years ago, I was called back as a commencement speaker at Ohio Wesleyan. Mm-hmm. And so the professor was there, and I thought about what I'd say. But I met him after graduation. I shook his hand, looked him in the eye, and I said, thank you. Thank you, sir. I wouldn't be where I am now without you. And that was enough. I mean, we made eye contact, and he knows what he said to me. I know what he said. And he'll have to deal with God in his own time. But I let it go.
Well, being told you're functioning illiterate at age 12, and at 20 you're stuttering, and you get this heavy message about heavy burdens is not on weak shoulders from your grandmother that your mother uses. At some point in your life, there was a part where you didn't have the faith and believe that you could make it through because you were despair.
Yeah, but fortunately, there were wonderful people in my life who encouraged me, and they got me past those difficult moments. That's what I talk about in the book, that all of us have people who encourage us. And all of us have the ability to encourage other people. And it's not just, you know, I mean, a lot of the folks who helped me out were regular folk. Not many of them had college degrees. You know, I tell a story in the book about a guy, he was I lied about my age when I was 15, said I was 18 to get a better paying job. And I worked on a road crew cutting grass on I-95 in Maryland. And these were men who worked with their hands, usually drank their lunch. These were rugged men. So one Thursday we got paid, and one of the guys in the crew, a man in his 30s, said, boy, I don't know why you're in school. I get paid every 2 weeks, and my paycheck talks to me. One of the other old men, a man working minimum wage, working with his hands, quiet man, he said, leave that boy alone. That boy going to college, and one day his paycheck going to scream at him. And this was a man who was undereducated, struggling, but he planted a seed in me. He spoke up for me. So all kinds of people have, in those moments in life when I've been discouraged, have come along. That's why I say step out on. These are people who had nothing to gain by helping me, but they stepped out on nothing to embrace me, to encourage me.
That's awesome. Well, we got a short time here on the red carpet, and we want to thank the Aloft Hotel for having us here.
It's beautiful.
I'm truly, truly blessed to have you on my show. This is my charter show. And one of the things that I do, I am the event manager for Real Men Cook, which is a charity that have men cook for Father's Day. And we have a gift that we're going to present to you. Could you bring that over?
Oh.
And
wow.
We also have a resolution because you have done what real men do. We do what we have to do to make it through. I want to thank you, show you the gift. There's a lot of journalism things in there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and you got your apron, your hat. I've autographed my cookbook, and I want you to autograph your book for me.
Yes, sir.
And I want to thank you for being on the Ester Davis Show.